Welcome back, America. We're here with Rich Goldberg, former senior official, National Security Council under President Trump, Foundation of Defense of Democracy, senior advisor. Richard Goldberg, it looks like the Biden administration's policies are paying dividends for Iran and their surrogates. Israel's surrounded. Israel's under attack. Israel's been under attack by Hezbollah since October 8th. By Hamas since October 7th. They're under attack by the Houthis. Iran is behind the whole damn thing. This administration has had numerous special pleaders, people really who would make Al Hiss look like a great American patriot in terms of back-channeling to the foreign minister of Iran. Iran's going to get a nuclear weapon. Tell me, what has this administration done to deter Iran at all from threatening us, threatening our former president with an assassination plot, threatening the Israeli people? What has this administration done to deter any of this?
Nothing. Actually, they've invited it all. They've shredded anything we had like deterrence coming into the last couple of years, and they continue to erode our deterrence as they pursued a nuclear deal with Iran. They wanted to get back to that old nuclear deal. They opened up spigots of cash. Right now, with everything going on in the news, right now, there is $10 billion being made available to Iran that the president could say, stop. We're not going to let you have that money anymore. Right now, with everything going on, Iran's oil is allowed to flow to China. Almost 2 million barrels per day going to China. The president could say to the Chinese, stop it. We're going to enforce our sanctions. What is he doing with Israel? He's withholding weapons when he should be saying very publicly to Iran, we're going to make sure Israel has every last bit of munitions it needs to carry out any mission it needs to defend itself and to take out its terror threats. He hasn't done any of that. So what does the regime in Iran see right now? They see weakness. They see an invitation to escalate. Because what does the president say? He wants to de-escalate. He doesn't say, I'm going to back Israel if they need to counterattack against Iran or against Hezbollah or against Hamas or against the Houthis in Yemen. He says, Israel, knock it off. Get a ceasefire. We're going to withhold your weapons until you do. And we're going to keep the sanctions relief for Iran. That's madness, Mark. It's complete madness. And it is why we are in a situation of the Middle East on fire.
And Rich Goldberg, Kamala Harris is worse, isn't she? She boycotts Netanyahu's speech. That sent a word to Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis in Iran, and the other Jew-hater anti-Semites in our country and all over the world. I looked. She's never denounced Tlaib for her comments. She's never denounced Omar. In fact, she took the position that Omar shouldn't have been sanctioned by the House of Representatives. She's as tight as a tick with this group CARE, which is a Hamas front group. She surrounds herself with these radicals, including her national security advisor. I believe his name is Phil Gordon. What do you make of her?
Well, her policy is going to be, at this point, as far as we know, the same or worse than the president currently. She owns all of his policies as far as appeasing Iran. She hasn't said she wants to go back to maximum pressure. She still wants to get back to a nuclear deal. Her national security advisor, who you just mentioned, Phil Gordon, is one of the architects and leading proponents of going back to a nuclear deal. He's also one of the ardent opponents of providing Israel the weapons it needs to actually get jobs done in the Middle East and deter threats. So whether you have Harris or Biden, the policies look the same. It's appeasement of Iran and pressure on Israel. But let's back up and let's remind Americans who we are talking about here. When you saw Israel take out the operational commander of Hezbollah in Beirut, that was a man who murdered 241 American Marines in 1983 and was behind many more attacks for decades after that. When you see Ismail Haniyeh, the leader of Hamas, who was at the right hand of the founder of Hamas for years, another man with American blood on his hands, not just on October 7th, but long before that, taken out. That was doing justice for American families, for American victims of terrorism. And who is their sponsor? Who is their overlord? Who's pulling all the strings? It's the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism that chants death to America, death to Israel, that's currently plotting to assassinate President Trump, that's trying to meddle in our elections right now because they know that Donald Trump is an existential threat to their way of life of sponsoring terrorism and building missiles and acquiring nuclear weapons. That is what is at stake right now.